Hello, everyone. My name is Beatrice Pasqua and I'm from the Philippines. Today I'll be presenting to you the case study entitled Tesla Incorporated Supercharging Auto Sales. As I begin my presentation, let me introduce to you first who is Tesla, its founders, and what products does it offers. Tesla Incorporated, formerly known as Tesla Motors, is an American electric automobile manufacturer. It was founded in 2003 by American entrepreneurs Martin Eberhard and Mark Tarpenning and was named after Serbian-American inventor Nikola Tesla. Early funding rounds came from various sources, and one of these is Elon Musk, a co-founder of PayPal, who contributed more than $30 million personally in this venture and became Tesla's chairman beginning in 2004. The first electric car was launched and it was called the Roadster. Its features are it can achieve an unprecedented 245 miles on a single charge with a lightweight carbon fiber body and lithium-ion powered electric motor. It runs like a sports car. It was so good, but the challenge was the price. It was so expensive and it cost $109,000 and their market was small. Thus, they launched another set of vehicle, which was the Model S sedan introduced in 2012. Model S offered different battery options, and one of these is the 100 kilowatts battery pack, had a range of 325 miles, and newer versions had a range of 370 miles. The S is also provided an early form of semi-autonomous driving called autopilot. Its price is ranging between $57,400 to $87,400. In 2015, the Model X as a crossover vehicle sporting SUV was released. The X seated up to 7 and had a maximum battery range of 295 miles, less than the Model S due to the less efficient aerodynamics. It has a starting price of $85,000. Though these two models are obviously lower than the Roadster car, it is still expensive for the masses. That is why Tesla came up with a new model in 2017 and its reasonably priced vehicle. It is the Model 3, a four-door sedan with a base price of $40,000 for a range of 250 miles or $45,000 for a range of 320 miles. I believe this new product fulfills Tesla's mission, which is to accelerate the advent of sustainable transport by bringing compelling mass-market electric cars to market as soon as possible. This significant move created some advantages and disadvantages to Tesla. One of the problems they had faced was Model 3 cannibalized the market of Model S and X, which causes a massive decrease in their sales. That is why this case study talks about what marketing strategy that Tesla should make to increase its sales in Model S and X. To solve this issue, we're going to use Henry Nugent's experience as an example when he saw the promotion he had been waiting for Tesla to release, which was the popular free unlimited supercharging for life on its Model S and Model X electric cars. Tesla cars use superchargers. Let me explain what are superchargers. Superchargers are mostly solar-powered systems installed at high-traffic corridors across the United States and throughout Europe and Asia to rapidly recharge Tesla car batteries. These charging stations only work for Tesla cars. Some independent charging stations or companies typically charge 40 miles worth of energy for an hour, but Tesla superchargers could load 200 miles for an hour, which makes a big difference. If you do the math, current rates in supercharger stations is 26 cents per kilowatts. At home, it's 13 cents. For somebody driving for 250 miles a week, it costs them $17 if they charge it in Supercharger station. But if they charge it at home, it costs them $8. Some other features that Henry Nugent should consider when saving money are the full self-driving features of Model S and X, with an additional cost of $7,000, which may be costly at this time, but Elon Musk made a statement that it would be more expensive in the future. So if you buy it now, $7,000 is like an investment. Tesla was launching a competitively priced insurance, offering Tesla owners with up to 20% lower rates, and in some cases, as much as 30%. All of these features that Model X and S have, from free superchargers for life, the full self-driving investment, and lower insurance rate, is it all worth it? Are customers willing to pay for it? And the question we need to answer in this case study is, with the return of the free unlimited charging, at least for a while, how much Henry Nugent would really save? Was free supercharging the best way for Tesla to kickstart sales of Model X and S? We'll see in this presentation if their marketing research was useful or not. But first, let's identify some elements of marketing research in this case study. In the book, marketing research was defined as the process of designing, gathering, analyzing, and reporting information that may be used to solve a specific marketing problem. In this case study, they use secondary data that have been previously gathered by someone other than the researcher for some other purpose than the research project at hand. Specifically, they use internal secondary data that have been collected within a firm. Such data include sales records, Tesla's annual report. They got information directly from Tesla's website to know the number of Tesla supercharger per state or territory. Here's the picture of it. External data obtained from outside the firm was also a big help to understand their current situation compared to other information. An example of this is the published sources prepared for public distribution and are usually found in libraries and online. They also got additional information from official statistics that contains information published by public organizations, including government institutions and internal organizations. In this case, the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics has information on how many gasoline stations the United States has versus EV fast charging stations. Let me show you from where they were able to get their information presented. Aside from the information coming directly from Tesla's website, the rest of the report was from outside published sources like Credit Suisse, and investment banking that handles securities, investment research, trading, prime brokerage, and capital procurement. They produce information that entails Tesla's share of the US battery EV market, and it merely shows that Tesla has 80% of the US EV market. Edmunds.com, an American online resource for automotive information, releases information on different manufacturers that offer electric vehicles in the United States and Europe. This data compares other brands and their types, prices, battery size, and approximate range to compare the existing competitor of Tesla. RBC Capital Market, a leading global provider of financial services, reported Tesla vehicle deliveries by model. And it truly shows how Model 3 cannibalizes the market of Model S and X when it gradually launched in 2017. Electrek, a US-based news website dedicated to electric transportation and sustainable energy, They come up with a data that shows battery degradation of Tesla was actually less than 10% after over 160,000 miles of being used. Lastly, in one of the graphs provided by Bloomberg NEF, a leading provider of primary research on clean energy, advanced transport, digital industry, innovative materials, and commodities, they conducted a lithium-ion battery price survey every year to see how the price changed. They use online surveys, which are fast, easy, and inexpensive. They quickly got feedback from people who answered the survey, and they addressed their concern. Some of the issues they address in these surveys are: some people believe their numbers are far lower than the reality. Some say that current prices are far higher than in fact. Though there are different observations on this survey, Bloomberg explains how an increase in production will decrease price in the coming years. Thus, the information given was balanced out according to the results to achieve an average price. Some of the marketing research process I saw in this case study was: first, they actually defined the problem pretty well. Second, they identified information types and sources. Third, they were actually able to determine some accessing data methods. And lastly, they analyzed the data very well and understandable. Now that I'm done identifying those research methods they use and how they were able to get those information, the next question is, did it solve the problem? Well, in my opinion, the data was helpful to know the current situation of Tesla. Looking at the graphs given shows how good this car is, how the market sees it as the best electric vehicle so far, and that it's still the number one. But the thing is, the data given was mostly focused on the technical aspect of Tesla, showing how much supercharger station they have and will have in the future, how their battery would last long, and many more. But, that doesn't show directly to me how free superchargers for life affected consumers' behavior to buy the luxury car. Maybe Tesla should have conducted a survey that has a direct relationship to its consumers, and rather than focusing on the technical information, because that's given. For example, to really show if it's worth buying, Tesla can conduct a computer-assisted, person-administered survey for Tesla users. They can gather information about their occupation, how much travel their work requires them, how many miles they travel per week or per year, in what way do they charge their car? Is it through a supercharger station, or they charge it at home, or they do both? How many money do they save in doing this, in using electric vehicle? How many or how much money were they able to save as well in maintenance costs? Like something or a survey that can quantify their experience and see the reality of using this car. And once it was proven that this was really the amount that they can save by buying and availing Model X and S, it would be easier for Tesla to promote these cars. And I think this research needs some improvement, like improvement or improving the method they use, and the right survey that should have been conducted to truly understand why there was a massive decline in Model X and S. Maybe buyers did not see the difference between the Model X and S versus the Model 3. Maybe they just see it as an electric vehicle that is good to the environment, because technically, as I see it, All of them has almost the same feature. I think a free supercharger for life is not the best way to kickstart the sales of Model X and S. Actually, this promotion was tried before. And you know what's the result? Elon Musk actually ended the promotion and said, sorry, it's not really sustainable at volume production and doesn't incent optimal behavior. We probably should have ended it earlier. Like this statement sends a message that it wasn't successful as much as they visualize it because it won't bring so much profit to them. Thus, I believe this is not the solution that they are looking for. Let's say they move forward in this promotion to have like a for free superchargers for life, like a lifetime supercharger. Let's say it may increase the sales at the moment, at the beginning, but how long will it take? How long will it last? Is it for long term? I think what Tesla should do is to make the full self-driving capability a permanent feature in Model X and S. And instead of paying additional 7,000, make it for free. Make that permanent, and give a free supercharge on the first 2 years. Not a lifetime, but the first 2 years, because Tesla might say again that it doesn't generate income for them. So in this case, when you do it that way, there is a unique differentiation among the three models. So I recommend that Tesla conduct a client-side research that will personally make surveys aligned to Tesla users' experience and produce primary data specifically for the research project. They should follow the marketing research process to make everything smooth and easy to conduct. Defining the problem is very important. You should not do it incorrectly, because when you do it incorrectly, all other effort at the end will be wasted. So by doing so, they can create the right questionnaires and come up with the solution that Tesla should have in answering how they can increase the sales of Model X and S. And a free supercharger for life is still the answer, or maybe they just still do it just for 2 years. With the information gathered in this survey, I recommend that, and it will be beneficial to Tesla if they produce or create a unique Tesla demographic profile. This is an example of it, where you can indicate their occupation, their income, how much they travel, and how much money they save in terms of fuel and maintenance costs. Something that when a customer sees it, they can identify themselves on those profiles and see how much money they can save if they buy that product. I believe that's very helpful to answer the questions how much Henry Nugent would really save, and if free supercharging is the best way for Tesla to kickstart the sales of Model X and S. Moving on now to my conclusion. One of my takeaways in this case study is how important it is to have a useful marketing research to support your solution to your problem. I noticed how data was connected or related to every explanation. For example, in Tesla's website, they were able to show how many supercharger stations they have and will have in the future. And also Tesla has, or some other sources shows that Tesla has still 80% of the US EV market. And other sources also shows who are the type competitors of Tesla. and many more. There's a lot of information coming from different sources, that was posted online. But the question is this the right information needed to answer my problem or Tesla's problem? Or was the information provided just to answer the surface of the problem and not the core of the problem? I think that's where the marketing research role plays a part in doing the right process and asking the right questions. I have learned that in creating products, you need to make sure that you have a unique differentiation to make sure that each car stand out and become appropriate to your consumers' needs. You also need to know how much your consumers are willing to pay for it. Are they ready for the new full self-driving automation or not? Maybe it's a good idea today, but consumers are still not prepared for it. There's just a lot of things that you need to consider or that you need to make. And by properly executing the right marketing research, you'll be able to make the right decision. Though it's not going to be a perfect research, there may be some issues along the way, but at least you'll get the information that is closer to reality. Those are just some of my takeaways in this case study. And thank you so much for listening. And I hope you've learned something